Doug, you haven't had a ton of guys in the All-Star Classic.
Yeah.
What does this do for your program and your thoughts on the matchups that you guys will encounter on Sunday?
I think, it's you try to get the top two guys in the country, so, and that's a big deal. Obviously, those guys they're one of the top couple guys in the country. So to even be able to recognize and put into that situation shows that we have at least a couple guys that are the best in the country right now, at least being recognized. I think it's good for our guys just to be on a big stage. Like I said, you get to see you and I. I don't know how many other teams got more than one guy. I know there's a couple, but it's like a Penn State. It's a few of the teams that are up there, and we want to get to there. I think it just shows that the program, we're moving forward. And like I said, now we got some guys that they're not kind of hoping that they're there. They know they're there, and that makes all the difference in the world. There's a difference in how a guy steps out on the mat. He knows, and those guys have all been there probably at high school at one time. I mean, you've seen those guys. They know they're going to step out there. They know they're going to win. And that's what we're trying to do at the college level, too. And guys can do it. I mean, you got some guys out there that are doing it. And I think those guys aren't far off from being able to do that. They know. They put the work in. They're just at that level. They know that they can beat anybody. The matchups, Closet, first time that guy's moving up, very explosive, stingy wrestler. Obviously want to come out and score right away. Max has done a pretty good job of that, being able to score right away. I think that he's grown a lot throughout this year. We'll see if he varies up his offense. That's kind of, for me, that's what we're trying to build on, so he's not just hammering the same thing over and over again. He's being able to stay loose and vary his attacks, because he has more than one. That's kind of what I want to see in this match and then beyond. He's wrestling a high-level guy right away. I know he'll probably have a big home crowd, which is all right. We like that. It's all right if everybody's against you. Just go out and you compete a certain way. It doesn't really matter. Renda redshirted last year. Very good on top. So there's some things that we're working for. But to me, it's just how much can we improve. So you saw Max at the start of last year and the end of last year. How much he improved. You saw Foster, how much he improved. So that's they just have a different starting point now. If we can improve that much, then they can be one of the best guys in the country. So kind of dodging the question as far as matchups, I don't really care. I mean, we know who we're wrestling. We have some ideas, their tendencies and those things, but it's still about them doing things that they do well. If Max does things that he does well and he varies his offense up and is flowing, I don't care who he is. Same thing with Foster. Don't care. And that's where those guys are at, and that's where we want to have them and keep them. But looking forward to it. It's obviously a showcase event too. I think the eyes of the country are usually on that event, so it's great for us having two guys, and hopefully next year there's 3 or 4 or 5. I know some teams don't send their guys, but for us right now, getting in front of the big stage and the more bigger matches some of these guys can compete in, the better.
Is this approach any different this year, maybe compared to a year ago, or?
He's just way more focused. And here's the thing is, Randy, and I'll tell you every time, Randy's done a great job with him. He's helped bring him around, and said when we first got him, this dude's gonna be really good. He's gonna be really good. He's gonna be really good. And and now he is really good. But this is something we talk to our guys about a lot. He hasn't just done better in the wrestling. It's not like he's just like, I'm gonna take care of everything in the wrestling room. He's taking care of his school really, really well. He's living really, really well. Going out and maybe he's a designated driver, not worrying about that stuff. Like he's cleaned up every area of his life, and he's focused on. He wants to be a great teacher. He wants to impact lives. So he's trying to make sure that the things that he wants to do beyond wrestling, that he's being a great role model on those things. And it's made a difference in everything. He's made a jump. You saw the jump he made last year. He's made another jump just because he's more focused and he knows what he wants to do, and he believes he can do it. And that's been a choice he made. It wasn't like me. It wasn't like coach over top of him, like, you got to make this. He's decided to do that. And that's way more powerful. When the guy has himself to choose and coach over top of you, just micromanage you, that doesn't work. He made those choices. He made those choices that I want to try to be a 4.0 this semester. He made that choice. And now he's living in a way that he can do that. And his wrestling is going through the roof because of it. And you got to see a little bit of it last year, but he's taken it to a whole nother level. And to me, that's what this is about. That's what coaching's about. To see guys grow, help them be able to take some of these things that we're teaching them and be able to use in all the other areas of their life. And great that he's All-American. He can be a national champion too. That's the next step. That's the next step for a guy like him.